You push women away because texting you feels like sitting in a freaking job interview. Now, I know a lot of people will say to this, oh, text game is a waste of time. This stuff isn't important. No, just be yourself. But I think we could all agree that the way that you text a girl could easily be the difference between whether or not you actually get the date or you're just another guy who's left on read in her phone. Because we all know, right, that when you're in person, being confident, being charismatic, being funny, those skills are all important and could easily be why you get rejected or why you don't. And the same principle applies to over text. If she sees you as a boring guy over text messages, that's all she's gonna know about you. And how do I know this? Well, because I've been that guy before who is spending all his time texting a bunch of girls, DMing, going on dating apps, but not just actually turning those matches or those first interactions into dates. And now I'm at a point where I'm consistently going on dates once or multiple times a week. So in this video, I'm just gonna go ahead and break down a few secrets I've learned that have allowed me to go from being dry and boring over text messages to confident and magnetic. So the number one thing you have to do is you have to be able to escalate. The reason why I say this is because so many guys will have this belief that, oh, I gotta text this girl for 2 weeks and get to know her and know everything about her, and she's gotta know everything about me for her to wanna go on a date with me. But bro, I'm telling you right now, while you're spending 2 weeks texting this girl, getting to know her, or even spending months texting her, there's another guy who literally asked her out the day that he met her, and he took her out on a date. Now, obviously, with this being said, okay, there is a fine line. She has to feel comfortable with you. She has to at least, be in a position where she's confident enough to go on a date with you. But it's not something that takes weeks to build up. In fact, I would actually say the more you text a girl and the more she knows about you from texting, the less likely she'll go out with you. Why? Because she already knows everything about you. I mean, if this girl knows your whole life story, how many fucking pets you have, what you do for fun, if she knows everything about you before you go on a date, what are you going to even talk about when you go on the date? Because she already knows everything about you. So you want to save a lot of that interaction for in person. And the way that I advise guys to go about this, okay, is there is a fine line. You have to get to know her a little bit. She has to feel comfortable with you. So I would say, you match with a girl on Tinder, you DM her on Instagram. You want to spend, 1 or 2 days texting her, right? Send maybe 5 to 10 messages back and forth. Get to know her a little bit. Get to know her hobbies, what she likes to do for fun. Maybe, you talk about something that she has on her profile, have one solid conversation, and then you go for the number. And if you really want to be safe, right, call her up on the phone, FaceTime her, because when she can see, that you're a real person, have a conversation with you, she's going to feel a lot more comfortable and feel more likely to accept the date compared to if you don't call or FaceTime. Now, that part's even optional. You don't necessarily have to do it. And, if I get the vibe from a girl that she already is pretty comfortable, she wants to go on a date, then I'll just go straight for the date after getting the number. I won't always feel the need to call. But if you're a bit skeptical, you don't know for sure, that's something that could easily help you with, making a girl feel more comfortable. Because what you got to understand is that dating for women, it can be quite a, nerve-wracking thing. She has to feel comfortable with you. So that's kind of how you go about building that. Now, step number 2, okay, you have to keep things fun and playful. The reason why I say this is because the way a lot of guys approach relationships, and this doesn't just pertain to texting, this pertains to in person as well, is they're way too logical and analytical, right? They think that if I can just explain to this girl why she should like me, if I tell her all about me, I ask a bunch of good questions, then she's gonna be into me. But the problem is, when you just ask boring question after boring question, what do you like to do for fun? How many siblings do you have? It's just boring. It's not fun. And the way to think about it, right, is when you go and hang out with your good friends, when you go and see them, right, are you just sitting there fucking asking questions to each other back and forth all day? No, you're cracking jokes. You're making fun of them. You're having a good time. And the same principle applies to dates, okay? Don't be so scared to make a joke about her. Don't be so scared to tease her, to flirt with her. And you might feel nervous. You might be saying, oh, but what if it doesn't go well? What if she rejects me? But if you don't do these things, if you don't flirt with her, if you don't be, willing to take a chance, you're guaranteeing rejection. And also, like, nothing in life comes easy, right? It's gonna feel nerve-wracking at first. You're gonna, feel a bit insecure about doing these things. But once you implement this once, you go on a date and you tease a girl or you flirt with her a bit and you actually get over the barrier of doing it for the first time, it's gonna feel so much easier moving forward, but you just have to push yourself out of your comfort zone. And specifically when you're texting a girl, right, avoid giving super logical and dry responses. In fact, I'll actually just pull up an example from, what I've used a bit recently. So I was, texting this one girl on Hinge and, she was talking about, where she was from. Obviously, I'm going to blur out that part. I'm not going to dox her or her name or anything. 500 likes and I'll tag her. I'm just kidding. But yeah, she was asking like where we're from. And then, we get to having a little conversation and then she sends a voice memo. So I send one back and she made a little joke saying like, oh yeah, your voice sounds like AI. Now, where a lot of guys would have gone wrong is they would have gone, oh my God, no, like, what do you mean by that? Like, I don't sound like AI. Like, don't say that. But what did I do? I just played into it. I, made kind of a self-deprecating joke back at myself and then, went and I sent her my number. And then she ended up, texting me back after that. So the lesson I want you to take from this part is when in doubt, when you're interacting with women, going on dates, always keep things fun, playful, and non-serious. It's the same thing as like you would not want to hang out with a guy who's a friend if he was just all serious and not able to have fun, because dating should be fun. It should not feel like a job interview. Now, the third thing I want you to understand is that less is more. So many guys think with texting, oh, like if I just text her good morning every day and I'm constantly blowing up her phone and I'm constantly asking her what she's doing, then she's gonna like me. But there's a few reasons why this is a bad approach, right? Going back to what we talked about earlier, right? The more you text a girl between dates, the more you ask, oh, what are you doing? How's your day going? Oh, what do you like to do for fun? It's like you're just taking away stuff that you can talk about in person, right? Instead of texting a girl a bunch between dates, just set the next date, maybe send her a couple of funny messages referring to something you talked about on the date, or when she comes to your mind, you can say something. But you don't have to have conversation all day with a girl to keep her interested in you. And a lot of guys, they'll do this. Why? Because they're scared. They're scared of her losing attraction. They're scared of her walking away, of, finding somebody new. But funny enough, the harder you try to keep a girl into your life and the more you feel the need to text her and do all this out of scarcity, the more you're actually just going to push her away, because it shows that you're not confident in yourself. It shows that you're not really living a productive life, because a guy who's on his purpose, who's on his shit, who's living his best life, he wouldn't be spending all day texting girls. He would be out living his life, going to the gym, hanging out with his friends, doing fun shit. So I'm not saying to never ever text a girl, be a cold fish and not do anything. But what I am saying is save most of the interaction for in person and don't feel the need to constantly text the girl because you're scared that she might lose interest. Because what you got to understand about love and relationships, and specifically with women, is that mystery is super important, right? When you're not with her, she's going to be thinking like, I wonder what he's up to right now. I wonder what he's doing. I wonder what he has going on. But the second that you text her, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just hanging out, playing video games and just having a chill day. You kill all that mystery. You kill that fantasy that she's building up in her head of you. And that fantasy, that imagination of what you might be doing is always, most times, going to be better than what you actually are doing. So yeah, if you found this video helped you out and you want to get started on becoming that best, most confident, attractive, magnetic version of yourself who's going on dates and actually having a good time, feel free to go book a call with me in the description down below, and we can chat and see how we can get you started on your journey. And thanks for watching. I'll see you for the next video, bro.